So rather than focus on,
You're following Mr. Modi move from 4 to 6.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we have done that. We have shown the capability of doing that, leapfrogging. So rather than go that route of having individual car ownership and then increase the penetration of car or vehicle ownership in the country to get to a certain level and then move to public transport, I think the opportunity, because technology is also there, is to move to the next phase already, which is shared mobility, which is electrical mobility, which is the whole case phenomenon. I think electric and shared are the big things for India.
Can you explain case? I know it, but we call it ACEs, by the way. Please go with the
So you go with the ACEs.
With the EY terminology.
Please
Let's go with
explain ACEs.
ACEs is actually autonomous, connected, electrified, and subscribed. So that's how mobility seems to be changing between now and in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But there was a chain of thought coming in my mind when you were talking about moving to ACEs. And I'm a consultant, right? I follow money. Wherever money goes, we follow behind. Essentially, if you notice, where is the money coming from in the auto trade, and who's getting the money in? Any views on that?
So I think electric is the hot word at the moment. Yeah, it's the buzzword everywhere. Even companies like Tata Motors have raised huge amount of money to back their electric play, and that's a huge opportunity. And we are already seeing. I mean, we are seeing two-wheelers and three-wheelers being transformed in India already. Buses will move there very, very quickly. We already see a lot of startups announcing big things, and the PLI scheme of the government is helping that along. Cars, the technology is catching up, and we all talk about Elon Musk now. That's because of the electric cars. So electric is one huge space, but the other big space is shared mobility. So the Ola, Uber phenomenon, but even more democratized. In India, I know there are thousands of startups doing like Uber for motorcycles. Shared bike riding, and it's real money and real value being created. So I think these two spaces in the next 5 to 10 years are going to see a lot of activity in India. That's my guess, at least.
Parag, that guess is spot on, but I would just break that guess down. When we talk automotive, we essentially talk the top 10 OEMs in the country, the top 10 suppliers in the country. But if you were to actually chase money and figure out where has the money come from in the last 5 years, it has actually come from non-automotive players. So there was no Tesla 5 years back. Uber is not an automotive company. Technically, it has the biggest fleet in the world, but it's not an automotive company. It's a pure play technology firm. So if you were to chase the money trail, the money has come from non-automotive. It has not come from only automotive players. It's come from the private equity ventures of the world. It's come from funding from outside. It's come from banking. It's come from non-automotive but industrial companies. And where has it gone? It has probably not gone back into traditional automotive companies. It's gone into the new age automotive companies, the Olas, the Ubers, the Teslas, the million startups that we have right now in automotive. So there has to be a little bit of credibility to that. If so much global capital has flown from point A to point B, bypassing the traditional automotive industry to a great extent, there has to be some merit in that conversation. And that's where I'm going to get you back in. And how do you're a traditional automotive player. You said your company's been around for 50, 60 years now. How do you see this big change impacting you in the future? Are you a threat by any chance?
Yeah, it's a very touchy point because most of our components will go out of, they'll be dead. So fortunately, we have over 4,000 SKUs. Some of the SKUs will still be there, but as a company, we have to look at new product range which could be futurely used. So that is what we are working on right now. But yes, there will be a lot of components which will go out of the buses, out of the automotive sector or mobility.
So you're actually telling us, everybody sitting here, that a traditional 60-year-old company is feeling threatened in the next 5 years.
Yes, of course.
That's pretty much a wake-up call for a lot of us, right? And good enough for you to admit it on a platform. But, what's your humdinger? What are you planning to do for it?
So we are finding our niche. I mean, using the same technology what we have been running, or what business we are into, which is stock transmission. We are looking at niche areas where we can go out of the automotive sector and use that same technology in other sectors, where I would say fortunately our company has matured enough to actually have only 22% of our business in automotive right now. So we are only worried about part of this 22%, and we are looking for avenues where we can actually invest a little bit more and be future ready for newer components, newer generation.
Wow. So, yes, I actually was coming to you. You come from probably the most traditional out of companies out of everybody else here. Is your personal job at threat for the near future?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. You know, first of all, let me tell you that we are part of a very large organization, and we have iShares is one, but we have Volvo. So Volvo is a giant, and we are doing a lot of stuff in the case side. Talking about whether it's called about connected or autonomous or electric or the alternate fuel, whatever you are saying. That is not the key point. In my view, there are two aspects here. One aspect is that we are forgetting one thing: the climate change or the environmental norms regulations coming across the globe is putting a lot of pressure on industry for putting the right product in the market. Means that, like example in India, BS6, when India BS6 came, just within 2 years of BS4, we have migrated to BS6. Is it a compulsion? It's a need or real, genuine? What we have to. I was going through the sustainability discussion sometime back. Just 1.5 degrees centigrade temperature going up means havoc on earth. So there may be a situation when somebody will say Euro 7 is going to come, Euro 8 is going to come. Already we are working on the Volvo group for, you can say Euro 6.5 or Euro 7, that this we are right now evolving. So that's the point number one. So we are not saying automobile or vehicles will not be made. Job threat will be there for auto industry. The vehicles will not be made. Tesla is also making vehicles. It requires body. It requires seats. It requires a steering. Autonomous vehicle will have sensors. Wirings. So we need vehicle for commuting for sure. The ownership model is changing. Rather than having individual cars, so it's like we talk about manufacturing company. Now that's why the technology company is intervening into that. Google is making cars. Or like Bosch is trying to make, or Tesla came in. That's how technology companies merging with manufacturing. But there's another sector coming, Uber and Ola, which is service side or utility side. So perhaps there will be migration or merger of these three, and there will be evolution, in my view, personal view. But doesn't mean that vehicle will not be built. Vehicle will be built with new technology, which will be more environment friendly. Probably somebody was telling us that what is sustainability? So dream a car which doesn't consume any fuel. Okay, it has zero noise level. It has zero maintenance. It's 100% recyclable material. Just dream. So future is there, but still we need mobility.
Thanks. So my job's safe. Perfect. That's good to hear. I'm going to take it back. Back to you. Just one question. Do you think we've bought our last ICE engine car already? At least the evolved generation?
No, that's a loaded question. No, so no, I think it's going to take longer to transition out than we all think. One, because technology is improving, so the fuel consumption and all is, improved so much in the last 10 years. It will continue to improve. Secondly, the price of fuels will also continue to go down. So it's not going to go overnight, and they will coexist for quite some time, I would say. And we were talking earlier, right, that people might end up owning both. For your daily run, you have electric car, and for your long drives out in the wild, you have your SUVs that you need anyway. So I guess that in the short term to mid term, that is going to be the scenario. But I would like to dream the dream that we just heard Mr. Srivastava say, that we have a
just
car
say
like
dream
that.
on. It's pretty much a dream on right now.
There is a simple calculation I would like to add here. 30 years back, the solar unit, buy the solar unit per electricity unit buying, cost has come down. Again, I read in somewhere, I was in with Volvo Group, 1700 time in 30 years. The original price has come down per unit is 1700 times down. Where the fuel prices have gone perhaps 10 times higher. If I take next 30 years, so where the solar price will be there, alternate fuel I'm talking about.
I actually have a different point of view on solar, and I'll share it with everybody. When God was distributing wealth to the world, right, what he did for India was, for the last 50 odd years, we've paid to the left of us. our left pockets being paying to the Middle East to buy a lot of fuel from them. If electric vehicle comes hold, we'll be paying from a right pocket to the west of us now to buying lithium from there. Because essentially what has happened is, unless Suraj pe gaadi chal jaye, we will continue to pay for fuel right now. We're talking a lot about electric vehicles, but why this is very mindful and meaningful for us also is the biggest component of an electric vehicle is a battery, right? In the battery there is something known as fuel cell charge. The fuel cell requires a few chemistries. One of the biggest elements of that chemistry is a lithium ion piece of material. It's actually a metal. Right? That metal currently is not really truly available in India. So we'll continue to import that metal. So what we're doing is the left pocket will start paying a little less, but the right pocket will continue to pay. So, it may be better for our environment, but just from a government's angle, do you think we need to think of even further alternate fuels? I know the current government is thinking about E05, E10, E15, 20, CNG, hybrid. Where does green hydrogen get us? Are we on with that?
See, the challenges are manifold. So one is that too much dependence on fossil fuel means lot of forex export to Middle East and many other countries. So one idea was to reduce this import by blending. So we started blending ethanol. First we made it 5%, then 10, then 20. Last September we had a national bidding by BPCL and all the oil marketing companies. I'm happy to share that against a projected consumption against 20% quota for Madhya Pradesh was 43 crore litre, 430 million litres for the whole year. And against this, we for our state, bids received from companies were 150 crore, almost 4 times. So out of these, the oil companies, based on preparedness and readiness with their land and investment, bankers' letters, loan sanctions, water tie-up and so on. So about 55 crore litre project they have approved. And some of them have started the work on site. I'm aware of the progress in terms of. Interestingly, the top company supplying these plants is a company called Praj Industry from Pune. Unka share price kai guna बढ़ गया.
Yeah, about 100
They have a
times.
lot of work order with them. So another 2-3 companies in Ahmedabad and other places, they have come up immediately and they are now supplying to all these distillation units. So ethanol was one. Now theoretically, anyone who has studied basic science in a school knows that everything is energy. Whatever you see is energy. The challenge is how to convert this to our use at the cheapest price. So hydrogen is there, will be available very soon. And already some companies started trying. MP is one of the choice for companies which are coming for green hydrogen. Again, because of space for having solar power and then tie up with the captive solar for production of the hydrogen by electrolyzing or some other method. So all these PSUs like BPCL, GAIL, they are also talking to us, and then private companies, to name some, they are also talking to us, discussing. Some of the companies have already decided to set up in some other states. So people are working on green hydrogen, and you trust me, the speed of this work will be much more than what we are thinking. These things are never linear. The best part is all these transitions are, as we call them, disruptive. Suddenly वो slip कर जाएंगे. Some companies will shut down, some new companies will become unicorns and multicorns and so on. So all possible fronts, government as a whole are working to see whether reducing dependence on fossil fuel, increasing ethanol, promoting green hydrogen, promoting solar, wind. The challenge is to manage the transition, because if we don't manage it well, we will have grid failures. You still need some thermal to maintain the balance between Suraj ka ugna and dubna and wind ka bahna, nahi bahna and so on. And that is where the role of battery comes up again. Unless we have major breakthroughs in battery, I think we are going to be slightly conservative and fearful of this transition.
No, Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to put Ajay on you on a spot now. Between EO5 to E25, how will you and your organization manage that? Do you think this is just too smaller time frame for you to go through so much disruption after FAME, BS6, cafe norms, ethanol blending? Do you think you can manage it?
So everything is kind of in media. We know what we are doing, and you see that there is overall disruption in the complete business model. So what is happening? The bus as a business, it has become a service. So you might have seen that recently. It has been kind of 2-3 days before. There was a tender of 5,000 buses per kilometer basis. So 5,000 buses was put on tender for 11 cities in the country. And fortunately, Tata Motors was the
Winner.
kind of winner.
Well done.
Yeah. And this all these buses will be plying across the country in multiple cities. And see, the business model is like nobody else is going to own the bus. The bus will be owned by us, and we'll run it. And when it will be running in whichever state transport unit, so they'll be paying as per kilometer basis. So you see, nobody is going to own it. They get the money from the customer. Because when the customer will be using, so and then they will be paid to the owner.
No, so great change in the business model. Can we as a group of 6 of us agree right now that if this conference was to happen 6 years down the line, do you see automotive or mobility as a trade change more in the next 5 years than it has changed in the last 50 years?
If you want my voice, it is absolutely transformative. Whatever has not happened in 100 years, it is going to happen in next 5 to 10 years.
From the MD's angle, how do you plan for that?
No, so what Ajay just described about the servicification, that is happening across sectors. So
Tire as a service?
tire as a service is already
I
a
won't need to
reality.
pay for a full tire
You
per
will not-
kilometer basis?
Exactly. We are doing it already.
Done.
It's available, and many companies are taking it up. And that actually is very, very good for sustainability as well, because they are experts in trucks, we are experts in tires, so we know how to maintain them and manage them and get the maximum use out of them. Rather than an individual who buys the tires once in 3 or 4 years, where they end up wearing them out or damaging them. So I think it's helping the sustainability angle. It's cutting out a lot of waste. So it's adding value to everyone, and it's helping the industry grow. So the servicification is going to be a big trend in the next 5 years.
Mr. Shukla, the government will help us change?
First, as a consumer, I'll be very happy.
There you go.
Consumer is a king, so I look forward to getting cheaper cars, cleaner cars, and
Per kilometer basis.
Per kilometer basis, ऐसे कितना देती है?
कितना देती है?
But as government, there is a challenge to keep pace with the change and be in very close coordination with industry and people like Parag and Ajay and Aditi ji to keep pace with how best we can manage the situation. We are there as a manager. We have to manage the situation. So that is a challenge.
Mr. Sangla, up for the change? Up for the fight?
Absolutely. There is no choice. I mean, everyone has to be up for the fight, right? And everyone has to change.
Sir?
There is no choice. Either do it or perish, And like IoT 4.0, somebody say IoT 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. I see it's like automobile industry 3.0 perhaps in my view. Because next 5 years, it will be a huge transformation in the industry for sure.
Do you see amongst the 6 of us sitting over here, in the next 6 years, do you think the next generation of people who will be called in to talk on this will be software coders and developers rather than pure play manufacturing people?
I already said, manufacturing is becoming a technology company and technology company is becoming service companies. Probably it may be merger or amalgamation or integration. I don't know what shape it will take.
I'm telling you, I need to start a coding course soon. But we have 10 more minutes left, and I thought this was pretty useful for a lot of people. I just wanted to share the mic across. Just questions, comments, theory. Sir, can we start with you? Question, comment? Sure, please.
Could be any suggestion or any idea?
Hi. First of all, at the outset, this is mind-blowing, the way you have kind of, taken the bulls by the horn and showing the real picture, what the world would be in the next coming years. But coming back to the topic of Germany, I think I need to highlight a couple of inputs which is very important for everybody present here. See, the backbone of Germany is not the big industry, it is the small and medium size. They are the backbone and they run the show and they manage the show. And the bottom line there is right from MD, right till the person who cleans the shop floor, are all trained and well committed to the cause. Now, the reason why I'm saying is that we are focusing a lot on trends, a lot of practices, a lot of futuristic applications. But my appeal to Shuklaji is that he represents the front end from the government for industry. My appeal and humble request to you is that we need to make this backbone very strong. What is it that we can do for the MSMEs in terms of surviving, in terms of excelling, and in terms of being futuristic? That is fundamental point number one. Fundamental point number two vis-a-vis Germany is what we see when we traverse the industry segment, be it Mandideep, Pithampur, Devas, all that is in and around. The skill set, because we have also been responsible along with Mr. Aditya Srivastava of getting this Symbiosis University of Applied Science into shape. Now, here also the challenge what we faced was that we started something called Megatronics and Autotronics, which is supposed to be the trend, futuristic. Now, here also what we realized was that the industry is still not ready to cooperate, participate, and involve or indulge in training those candidates. Yeah, and I think Mr. Srivastava is a classic example. He was one of the very few who kind of engaged himself right heads on. Yeah, but then few others like Marley, yeah, or John Deere, whenever they were requested, they were kind of apprehensive because they didn't have the time factor. This does not happen in Germany. The industry indulges, industry involves, yeah, they engage, and they take. There's a lot of hand holding. Yeah. So this is something which needs to undergo a cultural change. And last but not the least, I think it's very, very important is that a lot of mentoring needs to take place by industries with universities and schooling and systems of higher education. Because this marriage, if it does not happen, because we have a system called, which you went through, Saurav, is the Diha Webe, where you have the industry hand-holding taking place. So in Germany, this industry hand-holding taking place with the students, because the admissions are given not in the university or in the college, it is with the corporate. You engage with the corporate, and the corporate then decides which university you go to. Yeah. So there is a trend which has a little offbeat, but it works. It works. That's why they're world leaders. So these are some few thoughts which I felt should be thrown up for brainstorming and implementation as and when feasible and possible.
No, brilliant, sir. Thank you. Those thoughts are very well appreciated. And for any of this hold true, what the sentiment I had for it was that it's not about MSME surviving. For us, for this to become true, MSMEs need to thrive. They don't need to survive. Because if we are to get this right in the next 5 years, because like you said, sir, the next generation of unicorns, etc., will come out of these MSMEs. They are the ones who will evolve and they will thrive. So, no, completely appreciate your point, sir. Thank you. Anybody else comment to... Yes, please. If you could just... Thank you. Sorry,
hello. Yeah. I'll start with thank you, Sanjay sir, for giving us an easy access platform. I am being from Indore. This is a first opportunity I am able to come up with my own startup and be on a public platform. So we are a research company where we do data analysis, and currently going on a global level or going on an industrial level, it's pretty tough for us because as you may be aware of it, that people do not trust easily to anybody with data. Your data is the new diamond or new gold, as we say. So where we can pitch in or where we can thrive using data analytics and having a connection with the big industries. As we do have skills, we have skilled team which we have set up. We have a technology development which we did build in the last 3 years since we started. So what do you think for us will be the platform? How to grow, or what can be the path where we can lead with?
Ajay, do you want to pick that up?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And see, the current ecosystem of the future industry or future manufacturing, particularly automobile, will not survive without startups. This is what we realize as a company, as an individual also. This is what I realize. So it has to be only relevant. So we'll have to have partnerships together. We'll have to work together. We have to understand what kind of trust we build with each other, and there'll be opportunities where we'll be able to collaborate and go ahead. So we are also in lookout for startups who can really contribute. And this is what is in Tata Group, you say, as well as this same kind of structure we have for Tata Motors as well. So you might have seen that a lot of acquisitions have happened in recent past at the Tata Group level, like 1MG, and then Tata Digital, New, everything. So same kind of concepts we have for us also, and we'll continue to partner. So we are always in lookout for people who have a relevant kind of expertise which we do not have. And nobody in the world currently has all the expertise with them. So we'll always try to partner. Only thing is that we'll have to really collaborate, talk to each other, and really realize that this is what is relevant to you as well as to us, because it should be both. It should help
Meaningful
each other,
for both.
Meaningful for both. So we are always there and to help as well as work together. And I can say that this is what is in our group, at group level as well as at our level also, to work with you guys like that. And we are in a process of that. I can say, and currently that we are really working on kind of in the new transition of the business that you might have seen. You might be aware that we are really lookout for that kind of a particular category of business or kind of a work that we are doing for startups like you. But it has to be really relevant. Unless we understand each other, we will not be able to go forward.
Thank you. Thanks, Ajay. We have time for one last question or comment. The gentleman there in the white hat. Could you just go for it?
So I just have a question for the entire panel in general. Mr. Parag recently said that in terms of industry in general, India needs to make a jump from point A to point D directly. Now, while at at a business efficiency level, I can agree with that statement, because it'll involve fewer R&D costs, fewer setup costs. But what what is going through my mind is how will not just the industry in general, but the population too mature with the technology until and unless they get to experience the previous stages of it. The best example being Mr. Soam said that he's a huge fan of Tesla, and Tesla as of now is making great cars. But in terms of pure drivability, Porsche has them beat with the Taycan, because they have that much more maturity with the chassis engineering and the overall physics of it. So in the corners, the Porsche is just a lot better than the Tesla. So for India, in sense, how would you say that we would need to bridge that maturity gap and get the population more accustomed to a higher or a more advanced level of technology when they are not already comfortable with the one which is in place?
Parag, a truly loaded question. This is what you call a loaded question.
No. So actually, we have done it. As a country, we have done it. I mean, the most obvious transition we have done is telephony. We didn't go the route of having more landlines and cordless and all of that. We have gone into mobile technology completely. And I'm just so amazed to see how even people who are uneducated, you could say, are able to easily use smartphones and use those apps. So that has happened. So I think if there is a value that is being delivered, the population will figure out how to make use of it. So that is my take on it. And I don't know the answers exactly on driving, how it will happen. But Indians are a very, very resourceful bunch, is what I'm sure about. So we have done that in a few places, and I don't see why mobility can't be like that as well.
Actually, I have a point to make over here. If you look at the auto industry, we moved from 4 to 6, BS4 to BS6. But when all these discussions were happening, there is something known as the power of intuitiveness. So if you were to actually read through the power of intuitiveness, all that it tells you is that to have that generational gap, our next generation, your next generation will be a lot more intuitive towards technology, towards R&D, towards non-traditional options that we grew up with. and the way they're going to learn will be a lot more cognitive thinking. So that power of intuitiveness will help them take those leaps rather than just the traditional way of learning with which they learned all the way through. But I mean, most likely it's bound to happen, and we'll see it before we pass the baton on. I guess so. I guess that's what we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I first want to thank all my co-panelists. Thank you, guys. Thank you for spending the afternoon. And back to you, sir.
Hello. Yeah. So thank you so much, all the panelists, for making this discussion very interactive and knowledgeable. And thank you, audience, for being interactive throughout the session. May I request all the panelists for a group picture, please? We also have an announcement for the audience. So tomorrow for the day 2, we will be having a conference on green mobility, innovative solutions for sustainable future in the same hall in the evening at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much, panelists, and thank you so much, audience, for being patient.
These type for mouse, these type.
क्यों अनिशा मैडम आपने मूवी बोली थी क्या तो देखा
जाओ फर्स्ट वाली क्लिप है ये मेरी है 43
फर्स्ट तो 42 आई थी ना
मेरी फर्स्ट क्लिप में
अरे तो हमको तुम थोड़ा दिख रहा है उसमें तुम्हारे बड़ा है
अब मैं सर मेरा एंकर तो खुद ही लेने लग गई ना कब से
अरे
सर वो रमजान वाली में तो समझ नहीं आ रही लेकिन मैम अभी देख रहे हैं कभी उनको आगे छोड़ कर देख रहे हैं वरना आप ही देखना प्रोग्राम तो कल है कल मेरे से भी हो रही है आप लोग ये लोग नहीं बोल रहे ऊपर कॉरिडोर तरफ भी कहीं हो गया बाप रे ना हो रहा है सरकारी को बनाना है ना
लाभ बंदा
हम लोग ये नहीं है इसका नाम का क्या नाम डालूंगा इसका मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि वाइट में नाम नहीं डालना जो प्रधानमंत्री का नाम जो ये है अभी उसमें तो वाइट बनावा इसका है राजवर्धन नाम है इसका नाम और दूसरे का क्या नाम है यार काम हो जाएगा यार जाता हूँ पूछ के आपको इसका भी डाल
ये
ऐसा कोई शॉर्ट है क्या इसमें आटो का कोई 2 मिनट का कोई शॉर्ट है क्या है ये वाला ये लाल वाला ये डिग्री है और भी है ये सब है जैसी भी चढ़ते हुए है ये पब्लिक नहीं करते हैं इसका ऐसी का पब्लिक
सर ये रमजान में नहीं आती रमजान के है ना वो आयोजन
नहीं चल रहे हैं ना रमजान तो
वो जो न्यूज दिए है वो आयोजन होना चाहिए ना फिर भी चल ही रहा है
चलना होगा कल की होगी इसका रिपोर्ट जो है इसका तकलीफ रहती है ये गवर्नमेंट करती है कि रास्ता के भी नौकरी बढ़ जाएगी अब ये गवर्नमेंट नाम क्या रहा है इन दोनों जो रास्ता आगे वो लगा भाई बोला है कि वो ऐसा बोला है नहीं बोला क्वेश्चन मार्क फोटोग्राफ तेज पड़ रहा है फोटोग्राफ तेज पड़ रहा है ये बताना भैया हम लगाते हैं ना तो उसमें एमपी में होगा ना ये क्या एमपी आपको तो आवाज दोबारा एमपी आपको आवाज चलेगा तीन आपको
आयुषी श्रीवास्तव ने मीडिया से चर्चा करते हुए कहा कि प्रशासन मौत के खनिज छात्रा आयुषी श्रीवास्तव को न्यायिक आयुषी श्रीवास्तव ने मीडिया से चर्चा करते हुए कहा कि प्रशासन परीक्षा में शामिल सर्वप्रथम संदर्भ एवं शिक्षा का अध्ययन में सफलता की आयुषी श्रीवास्तव ने मीडिया से चर्चा करते हुए कहा कि प्रशासन परीक्षा में शामिल सर्वप्रथम संदर्भ एवं शिक्षा का अध्ययन में सफलता की और इसी लक्ष्य को इसी राजकुमार भारती को अपने भविष्य का मार्ग उन्होंने भारती को अपने भविष्य का मार्ग उन्होंने कहा कि आदमी को असफल परंतु न्यायालय अपने कर्तव्यों पर न्यायालय की गरिमा को और भी प्रदान करने की
ये इसकी कहाँ तक की रेटिंग है बच्चे वाली ये भाई 4 आता है ये कोई भी अपन सेव करते हैं ना तो सेव करते हुए स्क्रिप्ट का स्टार्टिंग में आके डाल देते हैं ये जो फाइनल डालते हैं तो उसको उस बार में डालो जो अपन फाइनल सुपर डालते हैं ना सुपर का पहला वो डालो ताकि वो ऐसे कह दे यूट्यूब पे चढ़ता है यूट्यूब पे अपन चढ़ाते हैं गलत कर थोड़ी आंसर शीट इसमें हम प्लान करेंगे जैसे हमारे सभी चार नंबर दिन में हम बैठना वो प्रदर्शन चाहते थे कि 2 या 3 लाख मतलब जो 4-5 लोगों का जो समूह बना है ना दल बना है इसके बाइक ना देना ये 2 बाइक है ना ये किसी काम के लिए पेड़ है मेरे को भी 2 रखा है तुमको दे दूँ ना उसे फटाफट निकाल दो ना मैं कॉपी की तो लोग है ना हटा के लेना एक भी दो हाँ विराट भैया, क्या कहानी, क्या करूँ फिर इसका अभी, तो यही धरती गाँव वाली को, ये वाली को, बाकी मेरे पास तो सम्मान का निकाल देना, धरती गाँव सम्मान को भी मत निकालो, दूसरी को निकालो, मत निकालो भाई। तो फिर लोग सही नहीं है, सम्मान के लिए ये वाली भी देना पड़ेगा ना, कौन से? अरे ये कोरोना वाली तो छुट्टी खबर है, निकाल ये तुमको दे दूँ ऐसी बात, हाँ रिजल्ट मान के दूंगा उसको, हाँ हाँ देना है तुमको, आगे में लग जाएगा, आगे में दो महाराजा में दो, जन्मनाथ में दो, पाँच में दो, आगे में
चिड़ियाघर कई तरह से बदलता हुआ नजर आ रहा है। दर्शकों से लेकर की व्यवस्थाएं की जा रही है। इस पूरे मामले को लेकर चिड़ियाघर प्रबंधक उत्तम यादव ने बताया कि यहाँ पर सभी जानवरों की पिंजरे सौंदर्य से लेकर ठंडक बनाए रखने कई तरह की व्यवस्थाएं की गई। इन जीव जंतु में गर्मी के चलते किसी भी तरह का स्ट्रेस उत्पन्न न हो सके और वे एक जंगल की तेली की तरह अपना जीवन चिड़ियाघर में बेहतर तरीके से व्यतीत कर सके। वही जो दर्शक यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं, उनके लिए भी गर्मी से बचाव को लेकर बेहतर व्यवस्था की जा रही है, जिसमें हाथी ब्रिज का निर्माण किया गया था, जहाँ पर फाउंटेन बनाया गया है, जहाँ छोटे बच्चों से लेकर बड़े युवा गर्मी से निजात पाने के लिए वहाँ से गुजरते हैं तो उन्हें एक ठंडी फीलिंग का एहसास होता है। और ऐसे ही कई स्थानों पर व्यवस्था बनाई गई है, क्योंकि चिड़ियाघर प्रबंधक के पास पर्याप्त मात्रा में एक उत्तम यादव चिड़ियाघर प्रबंधक ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट खबर पर रोशन वो होता क्या है, बताने में उधर की पानी खत्म हो हाँ ये मारना की तुम मेरा डोलो दियाला ये चलो ताकि इनका डोलो लेना एक देखना इसमें राम भगवान दया करो, रक्षा करो भैया, ये मत बताना। चलो ऐसा कुछ होगा नहीं ना, उन्होंने बताना देखा भी आपने टेंशन को दे चुके हैं, जो खबर बनाइए वो देखा है, ये निकाल के सीट निकाल देगा। इंदौर की सारा So and all these cyber police को नहीं मदद मिलने वाले फीमो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर विशेष प्रकार का थर्मल ऑयल का व्यवसाय करने के लिए उसके बाद ये वो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर ने दिए गए मोबाइल नंबर पर बात कर आरोपियों से 1,500 रुपए लिए मेरे पर ऑयल ये वाली आरोपियों ये संभाल में इसकी राइट नहीं लाना है ना इन्होंने देखो ऐसी कैसी कौन सी डीएवी भी है और कोरोना है तो कोरोना तो तुम्हारे पास से लगा था ना और भी तीनों देखो कि ये क्या तो इन्होंने राइट कर दिए ये वाले देखो हमने को इसके व्यक्ति काम देखो और एक जो अपने पास था मेरे पास में नहीं ना अपना नंबर संभाल के आई इन दोनों में बाइक नहीं है ये बड़ी बाइक ना बड़ी खबर आज का ये देना ही पड़ेगी आज बाइक बोलता ना तो ये देना कोई खाली पटवारी कौन सा होगी एंकर इसमें इसकी बाइक लगा पूरा एंकर का रख लेना हम नीचे से वाली और ट्रेड वाली यहाँ का बाइक लगा हां ट्रेड वाली बाइक ये दोनों ने दिया 24 लाख रुपए डालने के बाद भी आरोपियों की डिमांड और बढ़े तो युवा सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर को उसके साथ इसकी शिकायत सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर ने साइबर पुलिस को वहीं पूरे मामले को गंभीरता से लेते हुए साइबर पुलिस मुंबई को पता चला कि भांडर इलाके में रोहित एंटरप्राइजेस नाम की कंपनी खोली गई थी जिसमें ठगी कर पैसा डाला गया था उसे इंदौर की साइबर पुलिस प्रोडक्शन वारंट पर सोनू की गिरफ्तारी की सोनू ने पूछताछ में बताया कि मेरा 1 लाख से अधिक रुपए की ठगी बन जाती ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट
अपने इलाके में एक रोहित एंटरप्राइजेस नाम की पत्रिका एक कंपनी खुली थी और विदेशनगर में वहाँ पर वर्तमान में तिहाड़ जेल में दिल्ली में बंद है उसका जो है प्रोडक्शन वारंटी से क्या है उसका एक साथी जगदीश और सोनू इन लोगों ने मिलकर ये जो हर्बल प्रोडक्ट है इसके नाम पर एक डिपार्टमेंट है
हाँ वाई डबल लगा है ना अभी तक के तो होगा ना वाई डबल की
बस लास्ट के
तू बता देना जहाँ से बैठे हैं इसकी आईडी तो नाम तो ऐसे
मध्य प्रदेश में ऑटो इंडस्ट्रीज को बढ़ावा देने के लिए आयोजित किए मध्य प्रदेश में ऑटो इंडस्ट्री को बढ़ावा देने के लिए आयोजित किए जा रहे ऑटो शो का उद्घाटन बुधवार सुबह 11 बजे मुख्य राज्यवर्धन रखेगा। इंदौर के भोपाली मोहल्ले में रामनवमी के दिन हुए उपद्रव में अनेक रेलों के सेवाम क्षेत्र के ग्राम गोप स्थित इंदौर में हत्या के नाम पर 50 लाख से अधिक की चोरी करने वाले 4 आरोपियों को पुलिस ने नगद राशि और उसके बारे में उस दिन से सुन रहा था कमल भैया भी कौन बोल रहा था वो तो जाएगा ऐसा क्या होगा हम लोग नहीं अनिशा क्यों भाई ये कुछ चल रहा है इसमें मम्मा चालू करके दे रहा हूँ क्या वो तुम्हारा एक और एडिटर कहाँ गया भाग गया मान लो जाके रख के दो फिर थक गया इन दिन में यार कैसे कैसे तो करो देखो कुछ काउंट कर लेंगे क्या लाड़े बनने तो पूरे बनेंगे फिर
आधे अधूरे का क्या मतलब है? अरे यार चल आज ही करवा दो तुम भी हो। लो डाल दे इसमें सुपर लगाओ। देखो क्या कर रहे हो ना? हैं? वो चेयर है ना? आना डोंट नहीं मुझे बच्चों से नहीं बात करनी है ना। आपको नहीं जाना उसके? ए बटन मत दबा, बटन नहीं दबाना है, नहीं करना बात उससे। बात तो करवाओ। एक एक घंटे पहले फोन लगाया था ना पर उसका कितने 2 घंटे मेहमान दबा दूं? नहीं। अरे यार गुड़िया वो किसी का काम अंदर छूट जाएगा, नहीं करो मत उसको टच। ना दबा इधर इधर इस पे हाय समर कैंप में कौन कौन करवा रहा है स्कूल से? क्या नाम है उसका? सरफराज ना? किसका? कितना? ये मैंने जाने लगे मैं रख के बैठ जाऊँ। नहीं इधर बैठ जाओ। नहीं नहीं आप जाओ प्रगति को बुला लो है ना, पर अभी उसको उसकी मम्मी पापा ये कहते सही खा रहा आप। साथ करवाओ विमुद्रा से ना विमुद्रा से क्यों बनाया वो उससे बात कराऊंगी ना ये मनार से क्या क्या मैंने क्या कहा? बेटी डोंट टच ना अन्ना, अन्ना अन्ना किसी का काम खराब हो जाएगा। वो कैसी रहेगी?
अच्छा ये तुमसे पूछेंगे तुम कब से आए हो यहाँ पे?
कब ये बस में भी आई
जी नहीं,
तो
हम 2-3 घंटे से हैं।
क्यों क्यों
ऐसे।
झूठ क्यों बोलेंगे?
अच्छा, मैं तो आपको चेक कर रही हूँ कि आप क्या बोलते हो।
कोई मैं तो बस अभी आई जानू ये मोबाइल देखो
कि दीदी के पास जाओगे?
नहीं वो जब वो बहुत अच्छे से खेलती है प्लीज जाओ
सैंडल कहाँ से हमारे? ये रुमाल जी को बढ़ावा देने के लिए आयोजित किए जा रहे चिड़ियाघर में गर्मी मध्य प्रदेश के इंदौर आदि से चिड़ियाघर दर्शकों को राहत पहुंचाई जाए। अच्छा ये वाले देनी है क्या? ये भी वाला क्या? ये नहीं ये भी और ये आगे का वाले ये रखा है ये देखिए मध्य प्रदेश के लोग द्वारा दर्शकों एक और आम आदमी जो चलाते गर्मी में परेशान नजर आ रहा है तो वही उसी चिड़ियाघर में गर्मी को हाँ लेकिन उस वर्ग की नहीं बात बाय बाय तो अभी आ गया तो वापस कर देंगे हाँ
मुसलमान की साइबर पुलिस प्रोडक्शन वारंट पर सोनू की गिरफ्तारी की गई। सोनू ने पूछताछ में बताया कि मीरा रोड मुंबई का रहने और पढ़े सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर इंदौर में मध्य प्रदेश के नाम पर 50 लाख से अधिक की करने हमारे शादी कब से है देखो एक से तो तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो साले क्या है या फिर मध्यप्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस को बढ़ावा देने के लिए आयोजित नॉर्मल वाटर प्रोडक्ट के नाम पर 50 लाख करोड़ की जमीन खरीदवाई। हाँ ये प्रोडक्ट ये सर्जरी का कौन सी ये इसके इनका दूसरा लगे जाएगा ना सर्जरी और सब कौन सी है हो गया चलो तो 5 हो गई सीटी भी होती है 5 तक नवाटा की 5 हो गई है एक खबर हो रही है वो देखना लगभग जो पढ़ना है उसमें भी आइडिया है उसमें भी आइडिया
नहीं नहीं जून में आएगा तब मैं देखेंगे और अब नहीं
कोरोना है ही नहीं अभी और होना है कोरोना आ गया वापस
तो मैं वही तो कह रही जून तक हो भी जाएगा तो चल जाएगा पर अभी नहीं देखेंगे
मध्यप्रदेश के बहुत से मुसलमान और राष्ट्रपति और संयुक्त महात्मा गांधी की गरीबी का है जहाँ एक और आम आदमी जनसभा की जमीन पे पहुंचे
इंदौर चिड़ियाघर कई तरह से बदलता हुआ नजर आ रहा है जो हाईलाइट
मंत्री राज्य प्रतिनिधियों और तुलसीराम चुनाव
ताकि मामले ये लोग इंदौर के लोकसभा क्षेत्र में बढ़ते बढ़ते कंपनी कहा कि निवेशकों को करीब 5 करोड़ रुपए की खरीद करने वाली कंपनी ग्राम गोलवाड़ी में देर रात ये पर सोए पर अज्ञात रमजान के वर्तमान में इंदौर के इतिहास में पहली बार स्थल बेस दर्शनी की वर्कशॉप इंदौर के इतिहास में पहली बार
इंदौर की राजधानी क्षेत्र में 15,000 किलोमीटर की बना पर निवेश
परेशान नजर आ रहा हुआ उद्घाटन बुधवार सुबह 11 बड़ी मुहिम में रामनवमी के दिन अनेक लोगों के मकान और वाहनों को गंभीर नुकसान विधायक बोले हैं अपने दिलों गांव क्षेत्र के ग्राम गोलवाड़ी में देर रात घटना
मंत्री राज्य प्रतिनिधियों और तुलसीराम चुनाव की 10 लाख टन की खरीद करने वाले 4 आरोपी आरोपियों में एक नायब जी इंदौर के मधु प्रोडक्ट के नाम पर 50 लाख आरोपियों में 50 लाख टन की खरीद करना
हो गए कॉपी आपके पास से हाँ रहने दो हो गए हाँ तुम्हारा अपना काम कर
एक्स्ट्रा आरोग्य की साधन दिया आरोग्यों में एक नया जीवन भी शामिल है एक्स्ट्रा आरोग्य की साधन और नाश करने की सुविधा है
हाँ ठंड के दिन में
हो गए दोनों दोनों की हुई ना तो ये संभाल के मैंने वो निकाल दिया, वो बताओ कि ये वाली कंपनी में ओबीसी को निकालना है, तो ये पीसी नहीं चल रहा है। नहीं मतलब नहीं बढ़ रहा है, ये निकाल दूंगा दोनों। जो संभालती है बारह बजे से आ जाता हूँ, 8 से 12 एक तारीख से होगा। अपने पास क्या होता है? नहीं बोलो।
फिर वो प्रिंटिंग का कुछ हुआ पेपर? तो ये इनको 2,500 रुपये में क्या दे रहा है, क्या क्या करके दे रहा है? दोनों 2,500 में वो उनको क्या कर 500 कॉपी, 1,000 कॉपी के 4,000 रुपये, 500 कॉपी के 3,000 रुपये। ऐसा वो बोला। क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? विराट। विराट, पता है ये दोनों जो है ना ऑलरेडी शादीशुदा है। अब इनको पता नहीं क्यों दूल्हा पूरा बनने का शौक चल रहा है? तो अब तुम तो मत बनाओ इनको पूरा दूल्हा। नहीं, मैं तुम दोनों का ये कह, जब मैं आई थी तो मैंने पूछा था ना उसके लिए कि वो कहाँ भाग गया क्या तुम्हारा एडिटर। तो अंकित ने कहा था ना कि अब मैडम दूल्हा बने तो फिर पूरा ही बने ना। तुमने भी कुछ ऐसा, तो ये बोल रहे ना कि मैं 1 तारीख से करूंगा और ये वो, तो इसलिए ये अंकित मैं 1 तारीख से घर चले जाएंगे तो फिर मैं कंटिन्यू कर लूंगा। क्या नाम है? साक्षी, ऐश्वर्या, चाय ले लीजिए। नहीं पियोगे? अरे सबके जाके बैठे हो। ऐश्वर्या तुम तो ले लो। तुम भी नहीं लेती? अरे ले लो यार, अच्छी है, बहुत अच्छी है। आ जाओ आ जाओ। साक्षी आप भी ले लो चाय। चलो एक ने तो अपने पैसे बचा लिए। लगाना है कि तुमने लगा दी है तो संभावना तो निकाल दी है। राजनीति को भी निकाल रहा हूँ, मराठा को निकाल दूंगा, देख लेना। खबर पोस्ट वाले का तो और कुछ नहीं है ना, और वो याद से कुछ नहीं है, आप उसको याद से निकाल दो। ये ले लो, मैं उसको दूसरे वो मना ही कर रही हूँ। आटा इसको निकालना है तो मैंने आपको ये अभी तो दिया। रेंडर चल रही है, ये रेंडर उसके बाद में लेके लगा दिए निकाल दूंगा। आपको किसी को देना हो क्या? मैंने सी को नहीं काम करो ना, सी को देता हूँ आप तो सुपर मैंने आपको पार्टनर नंबर पे दिया है। ये मैं देख कर आई था, एक मिनट उसकी आवाज में कल आओगे कि नहीं आओगे ये बता के जाओ। कल नहीं आओगे?